Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into something that's going to reshape how enterprises operate over the next couple of years. We're talking about AI agents and digital workers, and how they're transforming enterprise operations in 2026. Sam, when you think about AI agents versus the chatbots we've known for years, what's the fundamental shift here?
Great question, Alex. The difference is night and day. Traditional chatbots are reactive. You ask them something, they answer. AI agents are proactive teammates. They autonomously handle multi-step workflows, reason through complex problems, integrate with your actual business systems like CRM and ERP, and make decisions in real time without waiting for human approval at every step. That's the leap from tool to teammate.
So we're not just talking about a smarter assistant answering emails. We're talking about a digital worker that could, say, qualify leads, process invoices, or manage customer escalations without someone babysitting it.
Exactly. And here's what's critical. These agents operate within guardrails. They're compliance aware. They leave audit trails. They don't just make decisions in a black box. They're designed to work within the rules your organization sets, which makes them incredibly valuable under regulations like the EU AI Act. That's not a bug. It's a feature that actually reduces risk compared to manual processes.
Speaking of risk, this is where I think a lot of organizations are nervous. McKinsey data shows that 65% of companies are seeing real productivity gains from AI automation, yet only 34% have actual governance frameworks in place. That's a massive compliance gap, especially in Europe.
That's the paradox, and it's why we're seeing this urgency in 2026. The EU AI Act isn't a distant threat anymore, it's live. And paradoxically, organizations that build governance first don't slow down. They move faster with confidence. They know their agents won't create regulatory headaches. The 34% that have formal frameworks, they're the ones actually deploying at scale.
Let's talk numbers for a second. What kind of ROI are we actually seeing from organizations that deploy these agents well?
The data is compelling. Gartner reports that enterprises using AI agents for business process automation see 35 to 40% reductions in process cycle time and 25 to 35% cost savings in back-office operations. For a mid-size European company with 500 employees, we're talking millions in annual savings. In customer support, AI agents handling first-line inquiries reduce response times by 60 to 70% while keeping satisfaction scores above 85%.
And in sales and marketing?
Sales teams using agents for lead qualification and nurturing are seeing 2-3x improvements in conversion rates. That's not incremental, that's transformational. And the beautiful part is these aren't replacing people. They're freeing your best salespeople and analysts to focus on high-value strategy and relationship building instead of grinding through administrative work.
So there's a competitive window here too, right? Not every organization is ready to move on this.
Absolutely. Forrester found that 72% of European enterprises think AI agents are strategically important, but only 28% have actual deployment plans. That's a 12 to 24-month competitive gap. The early adopters with mature agent-first operating models will outpace their competitors significantly in speed, personalization, and cost efficiency. By 2026, waiting becomes increasingly costly.
Let's get practical here. If a company is sitting in that 72% that knows it matters but hasn't moved yet, what's the actual starting point?
First, you have to start with governance, not after you've deployed agents, before. Map out what high-risk processes you're automating. Document your AI risk assessments. Build an audit framework so every decision the agent makes is traceable. Then define your guardrails. What rules, policies, and constraints will the agent operate within? The EU AI Act actually requires this anyway, so you're not adding overhead. You're building compliance into your foundation.
And then?
Start with lower-risk, high-value processes. Maybe it's lead routing in sales or invoice processing in finance. Pilot with real data, real workflows. Get your team comfortable working alongside the agent. Measure against clear KPIs, cycle time, cost, accuracy, user satisfaction. Once you've proven the model, scale to higher risk or more complex processes.
That's interesting because it sounds like the risk piece isn't actually slowing things down, it's enabling them.
Exactly. Well-designed AI agents with proper governance create more consistent and accountable operations than manual processes ever could. You're not introducing risk with agents, you're actually mitigating it. Every decision is documented. Every escalation is logged. If something goes wrong, you can trace exactly why the agent made that choice. You can't do that with a human manually processing hundreds of invoices a day.
So governance and compliance are actually competitive advantages?
100%. The organizations that build governance first gain compliance advantage. They can confidently deploy at scale without regulatory fear. They gain operational advantage because their agents are transparent and trustworthy, and they gain talent advantage because their teams aren't worried about working with black box systems. It's a win across the board.
Let me ask you something that I think a lot of enterprise leaders are wondering. Doesn't this require massive AI expertise in-house? Can most organizations actually pull this off?
You don't need a PhD in machine learning to deploy agents. What you need is clarity on your business processes, commitment to governance, and the right technology and consulting partners. That's where EtherMind comes in. We work with enterprise leadership to design agent-first operating models that are tailored to their industry, their compliance environment, and their risk appetite. The technology is mature. The frameworks exist. The barrier is usually organizational, not technical.
So, what would you say to the skeptics? The folks who think this is overhyped or who are worried about the disruption?
I'd say look at the data, but also talk to your competitors, because they're moving. The 28% of European enterprises with active deployment plans are building competitive moats right now. And here's the thing. AI agents aren't some futuristic concept. They're operating in real organizations today, handling real business processes, generating real savings. The question isn't whether they'll transform operations. It's whether your organization will be leading that transformation or catching up to it.
Last question. If an organization wants to start this journey, what's the first conversation they should have internally?
Talk to your ops, finance, and compliance teams together. Get aligned on which processes are causing the most friction or cost. Understand your regulatory landscape, especially if you're in Europe and subject to the AI Act. Then ask, where can we deploy an agent that would reduce manual work, improve speed, and give us confidence that we're doing this responsibly? That conversation gets you moving toward a real pilot within weeks.
Sam, thanks for breaking this down. This is clearly not just a technology shift, it's an operational and strategic transformation. For anyone listening who wants to dig deeper into the governance frameworks, the compliance details, and the specific business cases, head over to etherlink.ai where you'll find the full article on AI agents and digital workers, enterprise operations in 2026. Thanks for joining us on EtherLink AI Insights.
Thanks, Alex. And to everyone listening, 2026 is already here for the organizations moving on this. Don't get left behind.